Hello. Hello. And happy Saturday. Someone said they didn't like it when I did that with my hands, but I don't know how else to tell you I'm here. So, here I am, a few minutes late, as usual, but I wanted to come on and share with you the Country Flowers bundle, because this is what is going to be in the upcoming stamp camp. So if you have been following me for a bit, you know that every new catalog, I get together with 4 of my super crafty demo friends, and we do a stamp camp. So we always pick a bundle or a suite, and then we offer a stamp camp over 2 days, 2 half days in a private Facebook group. So you get 10 live videos, PDF, and then you get a bonus with 5 more cards and a PDF. So this time we are doing the Country Flowers bundle, which is part of a giant suite. There's also Country Woods, or there's a birdhouse. So we chose half of it. We chose the flowers, Country Flowers. So it's this beautiful photopolymer stamp set. You can see the images here, and then we have the coordinating dies. And then part of the suite, there's 2 different DSPs in the suite, and also a ribbon. So we went with one of the DSPs, the Country Woods, and also there's these embellishments. So we went with the embellishments, the basic gray and smoky slate pearls. So we're using the bundle, the DSP, and the pearls. That's what's, if you order those things, then you are automatically in for stamp camp. And then, like I said, there's also another DSP, another bundle, and there's some ribbon that you could just have separately. Excuse me. So I wanted to pop on. I'm going to probably be trying to get on every day to show you some ideas with this, to get you excited about this stamp camp. So I'm going to pop these aside. So you can see we've got all of the ones that coordinate with the stamps here. This is an extra die. The lid for the teapot is an extra die. And then we've got all these little beautiful flowers. And then these leaves are extra die cuts. So super fun. I've already designed my 2 class cards and 1 bonus card. And I'm super excited. So everything else that I make now is just bonus. So I saw the idea for this card when I was spinning through Pinterest or Instagram, so I thought I would create my version of it. So we are going to use several pieces of the DSP. We're going to use this side of this DSP, so lots of really beautiful wood grains in here. We're going to use this. We are also going to use a bit of this, nice wood grain on the other side. I have already cut us a piece of this one that we're going to use, and we are going to use this blue wood grain as well. So lots of beautiful wood grains, plank pieces, really lovely natural textures. This one is super fun too. This reminds me of like if you were at the Muskoka or something, like a beach one. So those are the papers. That's what we're going to use. So like I said, I've already done this little bit of cutting just to make this a tiny bit faster. And I have got my pieces ready for some die cutting, and I've already got the stamps out and the inks we're going to use. So hopefully this will come together pretty quickly, but it will give you an idea of some of the possibilities with this set. Within the stamp camp, we will be doing a fair bit of coloring, so you do need to have some blends because the images are line art, so they're made for coloring. I'm never going to get that back in, am I? So I'm just going to put it off to the side right now so I don't ruin it. Okay, so I've already got a base here. So I have got a Misty Moonlight base. It just happens to be 11 by 4 1/4. That's what I already had, so that's what we're going with. And then my DSP, this is 4 by 4 1/4. And this piece is 1 1/4 by 4. And so they're just going to overlap down there at the bottom, and that is going to be our background. Now, in the card that I was looking at, they actually are using the other DSP, which I think is called Country Lace. And it's really pretty. I feel like now I'm gonna have to get it because I love what I've been seeing of the two put together. I also, as much as I didn't really think I needed the big birdhouse stamp set, it has got some really nice other sentiments that this one doesn't. So I feel like I might end up getting both of them. So we're going to start. I'm just going to add a little bit of pattern to this paper. It's going to not be quite the same as what the person had, but it will just add a little more texture to this piece. Sorry, just getting my bits out I still had packed from last weekend. So I'm just going to stamp tone on tone here. This is Misty Moonlight on Misty Moonlight. So this is just this cute little kind of eyelet stamp that's included in this stamp set. So we're just going to go across and create a bit of a repeating pattern. Doesn't have to totally line up. I could make it line up if I really wanted to. I could be stamping just on my glass mat, doing this a little bit more exact because we have a clear stamp. But I'm just gonna kind of make my own not super fussy pattern so that it doesn't take us too long. Find things like this, if you just kind of get in a rhythm, it's almost like the faster you go, the more likely you are to have it line up without too much effort. So I would love to know, for those of you watching, do you already have a demo? Have you gotten a copy of the catalog? It's not online yet because it hasn't gone live, so the only way you can have seen the actual pages is if you've got a paper copy. If you are in Canada and you don't have a demo, I can certainly get you all set up with a catalog. And on May 1st, you will be able to access it online, so you won't need anyone to help you then. You can just go online and all of these things will be live in the Stampin' Up! Store. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, see, already my spacing's gone a bit wonky. Oh yeah, I can see what I did there. That's okay. We're just making this to have a little more interest and to do a bit of stamping. So, lots of fun you can have with this. I feel like I hit the edge of my stamp pad there. The colors in this are lovely, and one of my favorites is the new basic beige. At first when I saw it, I was like, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that neutral, but I love it. It's really nice when you want something that is not crumb cake, but also is not white or vanilla. Okay, so we're just going to do that. So we've added a bit of extra to this. Now we're going to just glue this down. Oh, this we're going to stamp on first. So this is going to get glued down on there. We've just made it slightly more interesting by doing a bit of stamping on it. So let's just get that put down. I do love this side. I haven't made a card with this side yet. I feel like it's that, you know, it's my favorite side. So then I'll probably wait to use it and then I won't use it all. Or because I'll avoid using it, I'll end up using the other side and then I'll realize I don't have any of it left. Do you ever do that? Okay. And on this, we are going to stamp. So the colors in this paper are like basic gray, smoky slate, gray granite, wild wheat, basic beige, and then pool party, misty moonlight, and petal pink. So I want to stamp on this. I want it to sort of stand out. So I'm actually going to stamp in Night of Navy, although it's not one of the colors in the DSP, just because it's a little bit darker than the Misty Moonlight. And I really want to make sure that you're going to see this on the DSP. So I'm just going to stamp on this to make sure, yeah, it's good. I have a bunch of ink pads I need to re-ink. Okay, So I'm going to stamp in this corner. So there you go. You can see that. And like, look at the script. It's so pretty. I realized my husband needed a sympathy card. He had to travel for a funeral, and I really didn't have very many. So this is going to come in handy. I mean, not for him because he's already gone, but to replenish my stocks. Okay, so we're going to get this down. That way we won't be looking for it. Try to have same spacing, top and bottom. Okay, so there is our background. And now we are going to go ahead and add some additional elements. So this is the new basic beige, if you're wondering what this color is. And we are going to die cut, oh no, we're gonna die cut this guy. And you'll see he will then be, you add him to this big jug. So there's no stamp for this one. This is just a die cut, and then we can stamp inside of it. Will it fit down here? Yes, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna die cut that. We are also going to die cut these leaves in the wild wheat. Thankfully, we still have another year of using wild wheat. And then I also thought we would die cut the flowers in basic beige. We can always change our mind there. You'll see what I plan to do there. And then we are going to stamp and die cut the stool. And we're going to do that on this DSP. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of it. And then what I thought we would do is our jug will be using this. So I'm going to also die cut it. We're not going to stamp it. So there we go. So we got all our little bits. Okay, so let's stamp this guy though. We're going to stamp in Pool Party. So there is our bench. Okay. So you probably can't see this, but I'm going to line it up. And use some of this tape. And get out my mini because everything is going to fit with the mini. I just have to find my plates. Because like I said, I had been away. So let's get this all set up. Gray plate. We'll put as many of these on here as we can. So this one can go on here. This one can go on here. And maybe, no, not, oh, maybe if we turn these. Maximize our spins, right? Our rolls through. I sadly struggle with golfer's elbow, even though I don't golf. And I am convinced partially it is from die cutting. Back from when I used to do craft fairs and I'd be just prepping and prepping and prepping. And because you have to hold the machine and turn it, right? You're really using both arms. And so I think it gave me golfer's elbow. Okay, so there's our stool. Here is this little bit that we're gonna stamp on now. Here are our 3 flowers. You're gonna see what we're gonna do with those. Here is this amazing leaf foliage piece. And now we'll get rid of our scraps off to the side. Put our dies where we need them. And okay, so now we can do this guy. So if you stamp this guy, I'll show you what he looks like if you stamp it. So if you stamp it, it looks like this. It has like the, you know, the handle. And then if you create this piece, it goes over top. And so then it covers up, and now you have 2 handles. Doesn't cover up this bit though, and I don't want that little piece, so that's why we're just not stamping. Okay, but that's what that looks like. And then here is the beautiful floral, one of the floral stamps. There's this one, and then there's a second one that has more delicate little flowers and not so much of this sort of big foliage piece. But I was playing with that one. We're not gonna use that today. But just to give you an example, we'll do another project with that. But I wanted to make everything fresh, and I don't have tons of time. My husband's out of town, so my son and I are on our own, and he has his 3rd lacrosse game in as many days, and we have to be there an hour early, and we have to travel a half an hour away. So I had to figure out what I could do to get on here, because I really wanted to start showing you guys what was possible with this and get people interested in Stamp Camp. Okay, so now on here, I am going to stamp this flower market. I still use my mat all the time. I feel like a lot of people aren't anymore now with if they have the glass mat, but I know everyone doesn't. And I'm just so used to stamping with this. So this is basic beige, but I am stamping on it in basic gray, because again, I want you to see this. So I've just centered it on there like that. Super cute. Okay, and now we're just kind of put things together. So I'm going to get out my silicone mat so I don't get adhesive everywhere. And you can see how this is going to come together. I'm also going to get out some glue. Okay. I fear this glue is going to come out in like a giant it's gone with me over the freeway and back, so it's had some pressure changed. Okay, I'm gonna open a new one so I can sort that one out, because the last thing we need is a big giant glue mishap. So we'll use a new one. Okay. And then we're just gonna line this up. So you can see I didn't put any glue on the handle because there's only one handle. So I wanted to get that centered there. Okay. And then we're just gonna build this. So we have 2 choices. So I'm just gonna lay it all down and then we can decide whether or not we're going to use dimensionals. So I have been working with this die cut quite a bit, actually just the leaves, and so where there are the sort of obvious spaces to it, I try to put the flower. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stool just glued down and I'm going to pop up the flower. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. I'm also going to I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that flower. In case you're wondering why I did beige. Because I could have done pink and I thought about it. But there's something fun that I was doing when I was prepping and planning for Stamp Camp. So of course all my blends are packed up, but I'm going to quickly grab my blends. Okay, so I've got Petal Pink and I've got the next sort of closest, which in this case is Bubble Bath. So I'm going to take this little bit of basic beige I have left and I'm just going to see which one I like. So that is light Bubble Bath. That's dark. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we're going to go with that. So it's Petal Pink that is in the DSP, but I'm going to use this color and you're going to see what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take our flower and it's got these little cutouts in it, and so you can just kind of take your blends. You could also just take your Stampin' Right marker and then we can just add a bit of color to it. So instead of having like sometimes you know when you die cut in cardstock, you're like, it's a little too much. And so then maybe you'd put vellum over it or you'd do something, but so I found this was another option, especially with this die, is that to die cut in a neutral, so white, vanilla, or this basic beige, and then just add a tiny bit of color with our blends. And then we're gonna build this guy up with our dimensionals. So I could see which leaves are going to actually be on the flower pot. That's how I'm deciding where to put some glue. That guy and this one. Now I've done a little too much, but that's okay. We can wipe that off. And then I'm going to figure out where to put these guys, and I like to build everything, and then that way I know where I'm going to put my dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue on this guy. And I'm going to do the same with this one. And then we'll be able to use our gems, our little pearls as well. These pearls are basic gray and silver. There is a difference, but what I found so far is like, no matter what I've designed, it doesn't really matter which one you pick. Okay, so now here is our cute little flower thing. So this is why I like to work on my silicone mat, because now that adhesive is not on my glass plate, although super easy to clean up. But if you don't have a glass plate and you are working on, you know, just a piece of grid paper or something, then you probably don't want glue on that. So now I am going to just go ahead and add dimensionals to this. I'm at the end of my dimensionals, so I've kind of got little edges, which I like to use. I feel like hopefully if you have been crafting for a while, you know, you always use the edges. Don't ever throw these out. You can cut them up or use them when you're doing like a whole backing or something. They're great for that. So I'm just going to put a bunch of different ones here and there to make sure this is going to be popped up nicely. You could also use minis. You just need to remember minis are not quite the same thickness as these guys. So if you use a mini, you have to use all minis. That's kind of how it works. So all minis, or you use all big ones and cut it. Same as if you have any of those like the strips, you'd have to do all strips. Or if you had these guys, the adhesive sheets, they're thicker than dimensionals. So if you decide to use those for some reason, then you have to just stick with that. Okay, so now we're just gonna add this on. And then we'll add some dimensionals, or not dimensionals, some embellishments. I kind of feel like maybe it's screaming for some twine or some ribbon. Now, we're not using twine or ribbon in the stamp camp, which is why I was trying to sort of create this also not using twine or ribbon. Of course, you always have the option if you choose to do the stamp camp. You can buy what we're saying we're using, and then you could also buy the ribbon, or if you have twine, you could just add that wherever you wanted, right? Okay. So that's gonna go on there like that. No, you know what? I like that. We don't need anything else. So, and then we're gonna get our gems. Let me get my dimensionals out of the way. Clean as you go, right? Clean as you go. So I'm gonna bring this back. I'm gonna get some paper underneath it so you can get a better sense. We're not getting so much reflection. Okay, so there are two sizes in here. These pearls, yep, smoky. So we have the small and we have the larger ones. I think this card would also look really pretty just with some rhinestones, which I realize I barely use rhinestones anymore. We have so many amazing embellishments that I tend to just keep using those. So I am using the silver. There is a slight difference. And I'm going to use two small ones and maybe one big one there. Okay, and that is that. So hopefully you are like, wow, that's really fun. I like that. Okay, now I'm, okay, hey, Andrea, we got Jan and Teddy. Hello, ladies. I had started to do something, so then I didn't see who was watching. So there you have it. That is an example of what you can make with this beautiful suite of products. So hopefully you like it. Hopefully you think it's cute. It's very, I think it's really pretty. It's quite soft. It's a little more on the understated side. But when you see the cards that we are going to be making, so like I said, it's 10 designs, 2 from each designer, and then the bonus PDF where you get another card design from each person. We all have very unique styles, so you get a really nice variety of card types. There's usually a fancy fold, all sorts of different options. But this is just to give you a little taste of what that's like. All the details are, I put them on my page yesterday. I will link them in this post as well, and or you can reach out to me if you're interested. And if the stamp camp is not for you, but you like the products, they go live on Wednesday, May the 1st. So thank you for joining me. It's a very gloomy day here, so I know all 3 of you are Lower Mainland, so you're staying dry, so that is great. And hopefully I will get on again tomorrow, whether it's with these products or whether it is with something else coming up in the new catalog. Okay, thanks guys.